guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the Coal Iron YouTube channel and the Coal Iron Collaborative series. My name is Logan. I'm one of the engineers here at Coal Iron, and I am super pumped for a massive project we have planned this week. I am joined by none other than the one and only Seth Lopez. Seth,
thanks for having me, man.
Thanks for coming, man. Seth is a proud 12-ton owner, and I'm gonna brag on him a little bit. Seth actually won Best Collab Blade Project at Blade Show 2022. So that's a huge award, it's a huge achievement. Congratulations again on that, man.
Thanks.
Killer work. We'll cut to a couple of clips here of that project that he had. But Seth, why don't you just give a little bit of background about what you're working with in your shop and kind of what your main bread and butter projects are?
Yeah, so I started out at a pretty young age just doing stock removal knives with files and angle grinders and really rudimentary tools. And in the last, I'd say 5 years, I started forging, and I quickly realized that I needed a press. Working out of my garage, I didn't really have the space for a huge press quite yet.
Totally.
So I pulled the trigger on a 12-ton, and I've been working with that thing for about a year now, and it's
awesome.
Been great just pushing that thing to the limits and testing the capabilities, making Mosaic Damascus mostly. So that's mostly what I focus on, is higher end collector Bowie's kind of ABS style knives,
Sure.
Bowie's daggers, and then also some brute to forge knives as well.
Awesome. Kind of that Jason Knight style,
Yeah,
brute to forge with the forged in fullers and all that kind of stuff, right?
Definitely.
Awesome. Yeah, so Seth is definitely an example of someone who's leveraging the 12-ton press to do work well beyond what is kind of normally expected out of a entry-level hobbyist setup. He's honestly kind of outgrown the press in some way, so I'm excited to get him on the 25 with the controller this week and really kind of push the limits on the skill set based on a little bit more powerful tools at hand. So we're gonna jump in and explain what we're working on this week. We have a really complex Mosaic plan that I'm really excited to get into. So I'm gonna hand things over to Seth, and he's gonna kind of dissect how that process is gonna come together.
Let's do it.
Let's jump in.
All right, so Logan just took off. He's gonna start working on some custom dies for us to achieve this pattern. In the meantime, I'm gonna kind of explain what our plan is. Starting from the very beginning, the first thing we're gonna do is forge weld some straight layers of 15N20 and 1080. From there, we're going to forge in all the corners and round out our billet. So we're gonna take it from a square, knock off the corners, make it round, and then rotate this whole thing 90 degrees. So instead of the layers going across, they're gonna be going vertically. From there, we're going to forge it down into some flat bar stock. And what that's gonna do is bow out all of our individual layers and create these kind of C shape. After that, we're gonna grind off all of our forged scale, cut it up, and restack it. When we restack it, we're going to get these W's running down the blade. So in the very center of these W's, we're gonna have 3 very bold layers of 15N20 and 1080. 1080 on the outside and 15N20 running down the middle. That's gonna end up being a cool streak in the middle of our pattern. Once we get this squared up and forge welded, we're going to rotate it 45 degrees and forge down all the corners once again. What that's gonna do is it's going to take our straight layers that we had in the middle going across the billet and make them go across at a 45-degree angle from corner to corner. It's also going to push in the very ends of each of our bold layers in the center and create this lemon type shape. From there, we're going to throw in the custom dies that Logan's working on right now, and that's going to achieve these half circle, ellipse type shapes on 2 sides of our billet. And that's just going to help kind of distort the pattern in a way that's a little more organic and flowy, which is what we're going for. While all of this is going on, we also have a second billet that we're going to be forging up to combine with our original billet a little later. This billet is going to be 3 bold layers of 15N20 and 1080 with 15N20 on the outside and 1080 in the center, the exact opposite of our bold layers in the center of billet number 1. From there, we're gonna use the second set of custom dies that Logan's working on, and we're going to forge in both sides of our billet, and that's going to create a very similar lemon type shape. From there, we're going to cut up our original billet into 4 equal pieces, and we're going to 4-way it. So we're going to stack it up to create a very large square, and in between, we're going to have these hollow areas, and that's where billet number 2 fits. At this point, we're going to have 4 petals from our second billet that we made, and then we're also going to have 4 petals coming out of the corners from this original bolt stack that we put in our W's billet. So we'll seal it all up and make sure everything's clean, throw it in the forge and forge weld that. We'll forge it out into a long bar, clean it up, cut it up 4 more times, and then we'll 4-way it once again, and we'll have this repeating floral pattern. Now that we got a plan, we're gonna weld up some steel and get it in the forge and start going.
Alrighty guys, so we are pushing hour 12 here in the forge today. It is 98 degrees in here and we're still going strong. But right now, the billet as it sits is halfway between this step and this step. So we're in the process of re-squaring it. It's about octagonal in shape right now. And where we're gonna get it to before we're done in this forge session is right here. So that's kind of where we're at right now. We're gonna be forging out the rest of the week and hopefully end up here where it's 4-weight and then we can tile it out from there and then Seth can take it home and use it on an epic project. But we're gonna call it there for today's video. We have already made a ton of progress on this, but we still have a long ways to go. So stay tuned for part 2, maybe part 3 if we can get some footage of Seth with what he actually does with this steel. But yeah, it's gonna be an epic series, guys. So stay tuned. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and we'll see you guys in part 2. Thanks for watching.